Welcome to the Delmarva Almanac. Each week we connect you to the best of Delmarva. Like other almanacs, our aim is to tell you a little bit about our past, our present, and events in the near future. I'm your host, Dana Kester McCabe. There are many stories that come to mind when talking about Dover's heritage. On December 7th, we celebrated the 228th anniversary of Delaware ratifying the U.S. Constitution. So it seems like a good time to tell a few of the stories associated with that most significant event, which actually happened in Dover. Following our Declaration of Independence in 1776, the Continental Congress enacted the Articles of Confederation, which established our new government. These were a good first try. However, following the Revolution, they quickly became unworkable because, among other things, they didn't provide enough structure to fully fund the government. So a committee was appointed in May of 1787 to write a new constitution. 55 delegates from 12 states spent a hot, muggy summer in Philadelphia to complete the task by September 17th. Then they returned to their home states to begin the ratification process. 9 states were needed to sign on to make it the new law of the land. A sort of competition developed between Pennsylvania and Delaware as to who would be first. Delaware had a definite advantage with only 3 counties, all within close proximity of its capital in Dover. Dover had replaced Newcastle as the capital in 1777 because of its centrality and because it was safer inland from bombardment by the British Navy during the war. So, on December 3rd, 1787, 10 delegates from across the state gathered there at Battel's Tavern to take up the matter. Battel's Tavern is also known as the Golden Fleece. The property it sits on was at one time used as Kent County's first jail. It changed hands several times during the 1700s, eventually being used as a tavern, inn, and store. In case you've just joined us, this is the Delmarva Almanac. I'm Dana Kester McCabe. We're talking about stories related to the ratification of the U.S. Constitution. French Battel, who had served as a quartermaster in the local militia, bought the Golden Fleece along with his wife Elizabeth. They kept the business going through the Revolution. When French passed away in 1781, Elizabeth continued to run it. During that time, the tavern was used as the meeting place of the Delaware Assembly's upper house. A rival pub across the street, owned by a man named John Freeman, hosted the lower house. When both bodies met together, they met at the Golden Fleece. So this was the logical site for the delegates to debate and ratify the new Constitution, which they did on December 7, 1787. The delegates were so excited about their accomplishment, they hurried off to spread the news, skipping out on their bill for food and lodging. The invoice remains in the Delaware archives, and a copy hangs on the wall of the current incarnation of the Golden Fleece. The building has been rebuilt a couple of times, but a pub by the same name still stands in the same spot as the original building today. John Freeman, the rival innkeeper from across the street, also apparently had trouble getting paid for services. He refused to give up official papers he was storing for the legislators until they paid their bill. They, in turn, threw him in jail until he relinquished them without further financial claim. Presumably for being a good sport, and in thanks for her generosity to the legislators during that time, Elizabeth Battel was posthumously named a godmother of Delaware. In 1933, Delaware's governor proclaimed December 7th as Delaware Day. Nationally, it is known as Constitution Day. Delaware's nickname may have changed from time to time, but for most it is still known as the First State, because they ratified the Constitution before any other state. The U.S. Constitution had a number of authors, including Delaware's own John Dickinson, who carries the moniker of Penman of the Revolution. While researching this story, I came across a song he wrote during the years leading up to the Revolution. Set to an old Irish folk tune, it was apparently a popular pub song used when passing the hat to raise money for the Revolution. It's been recorded a number of times, most notably on a compilation album called Song of America. If you'd like a link to it or to read the original lyrics, you'll find them on our website, delmarvaalmanac.com/history. You can imagine the constitutional delegates hoisting a few beers and singing this song at the completion of their work. So here, in honor of the ideals that inspired the mothers and fathers of our great Constitution, is Ed Pedersen singing John Dickinson's Liberty Song.
our worthy forefathers, let's give them a cheer. To climates unknown did courageously steer, through oceans to deserts for freedom they came, and dying bequeathed us their freedom and fame.
Well, that's all for this edition of the Delmarva Almanac. We'd like to thank our community partners, the Friends of Delmarva Public Radio, the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and underwriters, eatdrinkbuyart.com, for their help in bringing this program to you, our audience. Our theme music was provided by Brightside Studio. This show has been a Moonshell production. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, may the rhythms and tides of Delmarva bring you good fortune.